What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Joe, and here we talk and review movies. And if you're new to my channel, thank you so much for joining. Very happy to have you here with us. So guys, today I wanted to talk to you about a movie that recently dropped on Netflix. And yeah, we're talking about Thunder Force today. This movie stars Melissa McCarthy, Octavia Spencer, Bobby Cannavale, Pom Klementieff, I believe that's how you pronounce her name, Jason Bateman, and is directed by Ben Falcone, the husband of Melissa McCarthy. So Thunder Force is a movie that takes place in a world controlled by supervillains. Supervillains are a very common thing in this world. And at the center of this story are two best friends, Lydia and Emily, who, while after an argument, go their separate ways and go on to live two very different lives. Cut to about 20 years later, and the two finally meet up again. And we come to learn that Emily has been coming up with a formula to give to normal people that will give them superhuman abilities so that they can fight off these supervillains known as miscreants. And what happens after that is Lydia accidentally injects herself with the formula, giving her superhuman strength. And what Emily decides to do after that is she has another version of the formula that she gives herself, which gives her the power of invisibility. The two form this superpower duo known as Thunder Force and go off and fight crime, go up against a political figure known as the King, played by Bobby Cannavale. So a couple of days ago, my girlfriend and I decided to turn this movie on, and I went in with a very open mind. You know, I love superhero movies. I love like buddy cop movies or buddy superhero movies, whatever you want to call them. I love that kind of stuff. And so I was like, you know what? Maybe it will be good. Maybe it's not as bad as everyone is saying. Guys, it is. It is as bad as everyone is saying. I can't really think of a lot of positive things to say about this movie. If I can say two things, it would be I liked Bobby Cannavale very much as the main antagonist, the King, this kind of political figure, crime lord who is trying to become mayor of this city so that he can let miscreants like run amok even more than they already are. And he was clearly having a lot of fun. He was clearly like giving it his all. And there were moments where I did laugh. Really, he was one of the only characters that I could get behind. Not in terms of what he was doing, but just like, this feels like a character. I'm at least enjoying my time when he's on screen. So, you know, there's that. And I like the action in some of the sequences, especially towards the end. I think Melissa McCarthy and Bobby Cannavale, when they're fighting each other, they throw good banter at one another. Some of the things they do with the action adds to the comedy of the movie. And there's a lot of cool physical things going on in those sequences. And then the effects. The effects are not like the greatest in the world. And some of the effects I think in this movie are pretty bad. But we have some other effects that are okay. Could have been better, yeah, but they didn't bother me that much. I was into it, what they were doing. But guys, other than that, I really don't have any other good things to say because I think this movie is a dumpster fire. It's your basic superhero buddy comedy that really doesn't add anything new to much of anything. So Melissa McCarthy, I don't like her comedy that much. I like that she's willing to do physical comedy because I have a lot of respect for actors, comedians especially, who are able to get physical and, you know, just kind of do things with their bodies to get a laugh out of audiences. The problem is we've seen it all before so many times. It's boring at this point. I just can't get behind her as a comedian. And I think it definitely has to do with her teaming with her husband, Ben Falcone, who directed this movie and has directed her in many other of her films. But most of those movies are just bad. I think it's time they just sort of reevaluated this whole work relationship because it's not working. Octavia Spencer, another actress that I admire very much, she's terrible in this. She looks bored. She just looks like she doesn't want to be there. And I don't blame her because this script doesn't really give her much to do. Her version of the serum gives her the power of invisibility, which you think would be kind of cool. And then she has this taser where if you turn up to 11, it can like melt somebody's face off. You know, that's pretty cool, I guess. But she barely uses it. And it's kind of disappointing because she's a phenomenal actress. And, you know, you give her the right script, she'll give you a great performance. But here, I think she just kind of went in knowing this is shit. Jason Bateman plays this character, the Crab, who is like genetically mutated to have crab legs as arms. He is just a petty thug who, you know, winds up in a relationship with Melissa McCarthy's character. And then there's Palm Clementine, who plays this miscreant called Laser. Laser. She just looks like she's not having any fun. She doesn't really have a character. She's just there to tell people, oh, you're going to die, or I'm going to kill you, or I can't wait to kill you, or I'm going to enjoy killing you. The relationship between Octavia Spencer and Melissa McCarthy, you know, if they liked working together, fantastic, but I don't really feel the chemistry between the two. It just feels like, to me, two actors who worked together, came in, did their job, and then they were done for the day. I didn't feel that emotional connection that I think you need in these kinds of movies in order for it to work. Whether it's bad or not, if you can get across that there are two characters that, you know, have an emotional connection of some kind, and you can relay that back to the audience, then okay, you've got something. But here, I just didn't feel it at all. And that was disappointing. The names that they give themselves, they're superhero names, they're just so dumb. Like, Melissa McCarthy is like, well, I want to call myself Hammer. She doesn't have a hammer or anything. It's just more like, well, I'm strong, so I'm going to call myself the Hammer. Octavia Spencer's character, which at first I thought was a joke, is called Bingo. Why? I don't know. Maybe because she's smart. Maybe because she can turn herself invisible and she reappears in someone and goes, bingo! I don't know. The comedy in this movie is awful. There's a lot of Melissa McCarthy running around, bouncing around, like she gets into these weird, funny antics, ha ha ha. But nothing is really funny. Like, I'm sorry, like, I think maybe a few of these jokes landed, but majority of the time I was just sitting there thinking, you're not funny, Melissa McCarthy. I know that the Marvel movies can get a bit formulaic at times, but you know what? There are those gems that really do try to be something different. One that comes to mind is Thor Ragnarok. This movie, Thunder Force, could have possibly been something like that. I don't like the relationship between Melissa McCarthy and Jason Bateman's characters. It's just weird. It comes out of nowhere. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't need to be in the movie. They could have easily taken it out and just had Jason Bateman be, you know, your basic bad guy, and I think I would have been fine with that. Another thing I don't like is how Lydia gets her powers. I'm not going to spoil it here, but it's just stupid. The lead up to it is silly. The way it happens, it didn't have to happen like that. If you watch the movie, I think you'll understand what I mean. It's just the way it's set up is just like, what? Like, how did you let this happen? Watch the movie and you'll see what I mean, but it's just, it bugged me so much. I couldn't, The term miscreant, this is the term they use to identify the supervillains. It's a very stupid word, and every time the characters say miscreant, I kind of cringe a little. I'm just like, doesn't work. The word doesn't sound right to me. The cinematography is very bland. There's nothing interesting that's happening on the screen or that's been framed. It's just, again, you're by the numbers superhero comedy. So guys, in the end, Thunder Force is bland on all levels. The performances are nothing to write home about. The story is just mediocre. And everything else, aside from one good performance from Bobby Cannavale and some pretty okay action sequences, everything else is just a complete disappointment. If you're one of those people who already saw this movie and enjoyed it, more power to you. For me though, I didn't love it. And I just think this movie was kind of a waste of time. And I'm giving this movie a solid 2 out of 10. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Had a great time making this video. Didn't have a great time watching the movie, but you know, never have to watch it again. And guys, as always, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button down below. Very much appreciate it. And look forward to more videos coming your way. Thanks very much.